Please forgive the noise outside. My husband is out there topping the paddocks, but I just had to get this down. This morning I watched I won't say the word. Oh, I should have written this one down. I'll show it to you. And it reminded me of, so you know who that is there. It's about these, things here, and I'm going to talk about those. So some of you may remember the video that I did showing you that I had them, and the Lord revealed that to me. So what happened this morning was I had a most wonderful dream about Trump, but it's almost X-rated, so I can't tell you. But it was lovely, and I was whispering in his ear, and he was not able to resist me any longer. So, but in it he also said, what I can tell you, the parts I can tell you, is that he seemed to remember. He was sure he knew me from somewhere, and I was telling him, yes, you know, that we had known each other before. So anyway, is that why I'm talking to this? Because dear Connie has just told me that she has and her darling son have been tested positive. And so, of course, you know, I was remembering the fact that how I started when I realised that those you know, trails had affected me was when I got that terrible cold, and I don't believe that this you know, thing is being spread by humans at all. But in fact, just as my first flu that I couldn't get over was directly associated with those, and it wasn't until I found out about this that I was cured, you know, and I had this thing for 6 months at least, you know, when I just coughing, you know, just couldn't clear my throat, and it was terrible. So, but I got onto that, and so that's what you do. You just dissolve it in water and drink it. And just as my itchy things in my head and everything have cleared up since I started taking it again, because after the lockdown, they all stopped. There weren't any lines in the sky at all, because of course the planes weren't flying. So I forgot about taking that stuff, and yeah, and then I got these itchy heads, and you know, just and then I just yeah, I had gone and had this thing. I didn't show you on the other one, but this one I'll be able to show you, because look, there's another one. You can see can you see the like the dark spot in the middle, and that's just like the one that was on my leg. And I took it to went to the doctor, and they burnt it off, you know, as they do with the nitrogen, and but it sort of got worse, and even now, so now it's really quite, oh, you know, it's just but yeah, I actually believed that it was the trouble was caused by burning it off, because I woke up, you know, this particular morning after it had happened, after it had been infected, and the Lord just gave me that word. I just, you know, heard that word, so I looked it up, and when I looked it up, I saw them, and so I had that bath. You remember the video I made? And in the bath, I actually saw these bloomin' things, these fibres, which on this video, Dane Whittington talks about. So that's all what it all came back to, what I remembered. And I wonder if this has anything to do with Trump's space wars, which I also want to talk to you about, because the God has shown me such amazing things today. So what was this at the 6:38 minute? I'll see if I can. I'll just play this.
Air that moves through this engine is not combusted. Thus, by design, the high bypass turbofan jet engine is nearly incapable of producing any condensation trail except under rare and extreme circumstances. Geoengineering atmospheric spraying operations were first fully deployed at scale just after World War II. Historical documentation proves this. And what we know is being dispersed, what we already know, is highly toxic in and of itself. Each element is highly toxic: aluminum, barium, polymer fibers. But when you start to mix these elements together, and then you combine mercury, which is in the atmosphere from coal-fired power plants, it's in our mouths from amalgam fillings, it's in our water.
Okay, so that was the word, and so there, and that reminded me again, because it's just, you know, amazing, just as humans, we just forget. When we get well, we forget. So it was that word there that he said, which he related, you know, totally to those things there. And so I looked that up this morning, and that's why I'm making this video, because I looked it up, and I actually put in the two words together, bang, and no, the two words I put in were the that one there and that one there, right? And the site I got to, you knew it was really, really serious. You know, it was obviously a real deal, but all of a sudden, bang, it was gone. And so I knew then, hello, I had really nailed it. So then I was, where am I now? So then another video that I watched this morning also, and this relates to why I call myself the broken twig, and I'll do another video on that sometime, you know, because as I've shown, I've been criticised for that, you know, because of the Masonic connections. But as I've shown you with these videos that I've been showing you of, I won't be able to remember his name now, Robert Sefer, you know, that the Masons actually stole the information off the Atlanteans. So it's very, very ancient information. And the whole Delphi, the whole Apollo, when I'm saying to you that Trump is the Apollo of Revelation 9 and 20, that we have been taught to believe is the Antichrist, but in fact he is the one that comes to save us from the Antichrist. If you read it properly, you can find that out for yourself, but other than that, I've done heaps of videos to show you it's true. And this also comes back to my star of Sirius, which I realized just the other day was actually hexagonal, not it was pentagram shape in the center, not hexagonal as I had just thought of it as. And the reason that is so significant is because that is what it's all about. That is the secret knowledge, and this is why the temple of Apollo went silent after Jesus was born, because of course Jesus was the incarnation of it all. So there's the quince. The quince there is the original apple. So this is the secret knowledge, okay? So my filming of Sirius, which many of you so-called Christians have given the thumbs down, which is absolutely disgraceful, you know, and I will show, for those of you who haven't seen it, and I will show it to you now, because, you know, as I've said, it was the sign of the Son of Man, and it, you know, returning. And I also believing now that it's also connected to the Pittsburgh Gateway. You know, when I showed you the first outing, where is that piece of, you know, with the CUE person? Oh, I've lost my, oh, here it is. Here it is, sorry. The first outing of that and JFK Jr.'s return was from Pittsburgh, 2007, and I captured it, but I also, so this is the sign of the Son of Man, and I mean, for the first time I actually recognised the actual shape in the middle. You see how it's not round? See, it's definite corners. So I always just said it was hexagonal, right? But when I looked up close to it, I wonder if I can actually get this.
I'm trying to get a nimble stone.
And it made sense. It made sense what I... thought I saw in the background of that. So note the pulsations. And so, okay, so these are shaped square, square, square. So that the outside does look hexagonal, but I caught it in the middle and some way, and just this middle bit here looked like this pentagram. And that is why, of course, your pentagon, and this is the mounds on Mars, also the relationship to the Earth. So this is all in my. So that's the mound on Mars, which is also in that shape, and that's the pentagram, and that's the quince, and this is all to do. Remember the dream I had of the 137 Pythagorean theories. I had the dream number 137 could save your life. So all this information is in the David Flynn collection. But what I found fascinating this morning was this other video. Don't even know who it is yet, but he's talking about this bombing at the AT&T building. So this is Florida Marquee. I'll let you have a look at this thing so you can palm Florida Marquee.
I'm very seriously wondering now if President Trump's Space Force was more of a reaction to a briefing that he got when he first came into office back in 2017. In today's video, I'd like to show you some more evidence that I dug up that what happened in Nashville was not what they're saying. That something very, very different occurred there. Many years ago, there was a series on
Stargate
called Stargate, and there were some spin-offs of it, Stargate Atlantis and Stargate Continuum. There were movies. The underlying subtext, though, of all of the series was that the program was going on with the vast majority of the population completely unaware. They were doing it in the series out of Cheyenne Mountain, but where they're doing it now might be on a global scale. In yesterday's video, we showed how this strange event in Nashville ties into different Pentagon locations around the globe.
Okay.
But what
different Pentagon locations around the world. So now I'll just actually read you from Revelation 9. Got here, the fourth angel blew his trumpet, so it's 9:12, and a third part of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars. That's so blah, 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 blah. Then I looked and I heard an eagle calling with a loud cry as it flew in mid-heaven, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth when the trumpets sound and the last three angels now begin to blow. Then the fifth angel blew his trumpet, and I saw a star that had fallen from heaven to earth. So a star is also an angel, and the star was given the key of the shaft of the abyss, right, the gate. With this he opened the shaft of the abyss, and from the shaft smoke rose like smoke from a great furnace, blah, 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 blah. Then over the earth out of the smoke came locusts, and they were given power that the earthly scorpions have. They were told to do no injury to the grass or to any plant or tree, but only to those men who had not received the seal of God on their foreheads. So obviously that is not, say, Antichrist, because all he'd be wanting to kill is the ones that do have the seal. So, they're only allowed to kill the non-believers. He says they had for their king the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon and in Greek Apollyon, or the destroyer. So that is also the same. The destroyer is Shiva, the god Shiva, which stands outside CERN, that you've been told to fear as the Antichrist. So, and this is why, of course, why Obama was pictured as Shiva, because Obama was pretending to be this destroyer, because he knew and they know that this destroyer is actually the destroyer of evil. So, just as Obama was shown pictured out with his arms out as Christ and everything, he was always trying to make out that he was the Christ. So he was just proving that he was the Antichrist. So this video...
If this was fired from an aircraft, why would our own aircraft be firing on Nashville? What would they be shooting at? Well, they might not have been shooting at Nashville. That might have been collateral damage. Because I was reading about this airborne laser, and there's something that they say, and I'll give you this image as well, about one of the problems with these lasers is targeting. And down here, it's all the way down in the lower right here.
So what they're talking about is this incredible blue flash.
100 degrees you get Celsius, you get dull red.
There was a huge flash.
It hasn't exploded before. Why is it blue? Well, I did some research and did some looking, and it has to do with the temperature of the explosion and the oxidizer.
Okay, and he said that there was the same thing happened, I believe, in New York. Is it? Yeah.
Now, the pictures I'm showing here, it reminded me of something that happened in New York not too long ago. There was what they described as a transformer explosion that caused this huge blue haze over all of New York. And people were like, that's really, really odd. Transformers have exploded before. Why is it blue? Well, I did some research and did some looking.
Okay, so they're talking about this plane. And now they're talking...
Now, I know that's got some holes in it, but I don't think we can really honestly believe that what we saw was simply just an RV and somebody who was disgruntled. There's just no way. I'm not going to believe that. Because we can see right here, and we showed this yesterday in these images, that something came out of the sky. Something came out of the sky. This is a screenshot from Dabu 777. He did a really good job of digging this up. This is the inverted image. This is the actual image right here. You can kind of see it. It's not as easy to see right here. But clearly something came in. Something came in and hit from the sky that location. Now here's the part that's going to blow your mind. There's a Twitch streamer on the other side of the globe that picked up something accidentally. He had his stream going. You can see him sitting here at the left. Let me see if I can zoom this a little more. But out his window, there was what was described as a shooting star. Now the name of the streamer, the stream channel, is, I want to get this right, ALCANCAR. Or no, pardon me.
Okay, so that's...
I don't believe what is down here is actually pentagon shaped or the shape.
So he's now talking about these points all around the world.
The one that I just described. And we've shown all sorts of other locations around the world. There's one in the Yucatan, this one here in Brazil, and this is a very obscure location in Brazil for there to be this. Some had made mention that they don't believe what is down.
Okay, so here also in this David Flynn book, we've got the same showing, and I don't know if this has anything to do with those funny little megaliths that are showing up around the world, but this is the pentagonal arrangement of megalithic monuments around the earth. Okay.
Down here is actually pentagon shaped or the shape of our pentagon. Let me relieve you of that notion real quick. I turned off all of my lines so that you could see what's actually in the forest. And you can go here. I've given this location coordinate multiple times, and you can measure this out. measure this out right here, and then go measure the interior courtyard of our Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and tell me if you don't see the correlation. Now, what all that means, more investigation is necessary, but we're going to keep an eye on this. I'm sure nobody really knows about this. And also to show something else, it's not like this has always been here.
Okay, so anything else I can show you today? So I would just say, because after I went in, so I'm really just going to be, so I'm sort of thankful that they're showing up, and it may be something to do with the fact that I have a problem with my thyroid. I have hypothyroidism. So, and that's one of the reasons they put down to the people who are susceptible to these. But on the other hand, it's at least it's coming out, and I can see, and I just sort of feel for all those people who are contracting sicknesses and and are ill, and only put it down to to the virus or whatever, when in fact it's probably man-made. And the sort of, if you go to the doctor, chances are, if they give you one of those things that I can't ever also mention, or they're going to stab you with something, that it's going to cause you more harm than good. And so I'm not going to get this one burnt off. I'm just going to use this ointment that they've given me. So rather than having, because they've now come back and said that one is cancer, it's not a dangerous cancer or anything like that, but it is one that they will, if this ointment doesn't fix it, so this ointment works as it's going to sort of explode it, and apparently this is what the most of the doctors actually use, and for I think about 90% of the time, the people don't actually need the surgery to have it cut out. So I'm going to try that on rather than have it burnt off, because I really felt in my heart that the burning off was what caused the trouble and caused the infection. So I'm just going to stick with the this stuff and make sure I drink it. I might even rub it on or anything like that, because God is good, and He gives us the the natural cures to what we need. But the best cure, of course, is faith. And I wonder if I can just find this, because this incredible I've accidentally opened this, so I'm just going to show it to you again. A lot of you, so look at this, 14 people. I just cannot believe that 9 people have given me the thumbs down.
I've got some really exciting things to show you today, but unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I've got to take these.
Here is the letter, was it Resh, showing Jesus. This was a fabulous video, I think, that I made, and it just showed the ancient Resh as being Trump.
So, our letter Q back.
So there it is there.
It looks a little bit like Donald Trump. But the pie also represents, of course, a perfect circle. Which brings us to...
There it is there.
Your modern form of the kuf, or the Q, in Hebrew, which, taken one way, this would be the Zion and the Resh, so that would be the word Zar, meaning strange, or flipped the other way, like the two trees, would be the word Raz, which, of course, means mysteries and secrets, meaning that this Q, in its modern form, means strange mysteries and secrets in modern Hebrew. But we're going to begin with the top part up here.
Okay, so this is where I wanted. This is the ancient Resh. So he's just describing.
Between these two, in ancient Hebrew, what is this letter here? In pre-Canaanite text, Hebrew pre-Canaanite texts. The Resh, and it looks strangely, and it's also the number 200, and it's the 20th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And it strangely looks a little bit like Donald Trump. But pi also represents, of course, a perfect circle. Which brings us to our 2020. I thought we...
Okay, and so that is all about the secret mysteries, and that is all. It's the number 14. It's all to do with this Pythagorean, with the secret knowledge, it says here. In most illustrative legend of the mystery schools, the 14th piece of Osiris was the one part of his body never recovered by Isis or her followers. So, of course, those are all the obelisks that you see in front of the White House and around the world, which also are on these meridian lines. In the mysteries pertaining to Osiris, the missing phallus, that's the you-know-what, and the number 14 represent the same principle of hidden knowledge. 14 is a number referring not only to the 14th piece of Osiris, but also to a geometric pattern that was a template for the heavens mirrored upon the earth. So that's what he's talking about there, where the pentagram, where those points are around the earth. And that is also related to my broken twig, where the Delphi oracle said, "Seek ye where the broken twig lies at the foot of the hill, where the clouds roll together and the boulders fall down the hillside," or something. So I can actually show you the hillside, and I can show you the boulders, and of course everyone's seen by now that where I live, all the clouds roll together because I'm in this gorgeous valley. So anyway, where are we? The 14th piece of Osiris, but also to a geometric pattern that was a template for the heavens mirrored upon the earth, as above, so below. In the mystery schools of Pythagoras and the latter mysteries of Gnostic dualism, the knowledge of two. So this is back to the twin owl dream that I had with my first videos when I started off these two giant fluorescent white twin owls that I've had, and that was when I was coming to the crossroads, so it's obviously speaking about the secret knowledge. And I think it was very significant last night that Trump and I, we're finally together, and I was blowing in his ear, and yeah. Anyway, so and we were at the hotel was the Tiffany Hotel. So as I've shown you, this is my Tiffany lamp, and Tiffany means God emerging God. The mystery of twos. 14 is significantly the product of 7 times 2. 72 is the number of years associated with a 1-degree movement in a precessional equinox. The Egyptians also incorporated the number 72 in the Osiris myth as Egypt's greatest king. Osiris travelled to the other lands to teach his civilizing technology after he finished teaching the Egyptians. Osiris left his consort Isis as regent while he was away. So anyway, that I believe it is where we're at, and praise God. God is being revealed, and those of you who are stopping the message getting out, please reconsider your ways and understand that all this hidden knowledge has been kept from you, but at the same time, those who have the knowledge flaunt it right in front of your faces and teach you that it's something to be afraid of, when in fact they have the secrets, but they are keeping them to themselves, just as Satan would. So please wake up and be set free in Jesus, because he doesn't want you to be slave to anyone. So I'm going to do another video soon just showing you the dragon cast down, because this is also to do with the dragon, China. You know, there is so much to know, and ignorance is not bliss. God bless you all in Jesus' name, and look after your health, and don't think that these aren't connected. So I absolutely recommend that you go onto that site. I won't say its name again, but you know, he's doing huge work, and I don't know if they're still splattering your skies with them, but I don't think it really matters. You know, I believe that the stuff is already in the air, and the reason that the fires were so horrendous was because of all the, you know, the not chemicals, you know, the aluminium and what have you that is on the plants and the leaves. And I've shown videos of that too, where I've seen even plants like my beetroot, you know. So here it is there, okay? So please look this up, and he's got lots of information. You can just go, you can just, if you have there's a place here that you can just type in something if you have a question, but he just has amazing you know, articles for you to understand what is happening here and how important those hideous lines in the sky really are, and how, you know, they are causing autism in children and Alzheimer's in adults in huge numbers. So it's not Happy New Year. I didn't think I'd be this busy so soon, but you know, God is God, and you can't tell him what to do. So thanks for watching. I bless you all in Jesus' name, and hope you're having a wonderful time. And please, Connie, be well. I'm praying for you from New Zealand.